I'm told I have 5 minutes to speak about the future of Europe. That's very un-French. So I'll start with 5 minutes and maybe we'll, do it for an hour or two. I just want to say it's very appropriate that on this day, February 24th, the third anniversary of the war of Russian aggression against Ukraine, we're speaking here about the future of Europe, because this is exactly what's being played right now. It's the future of European security, and it's the future of European democracy. I was alongside heads of states and government and President Zelensky this morning on Maidan Square, where we paid tribute to the fallen and the heroes of this war of resistance. And I was reminded that I was on this same square 11 years ago to the day during the Revolution of Dignity, alongside young women and young men who were bravely brandishing the European flag and being shot at and being killed for this flag for the first time in history, because they saw this flag as the synonym of democracy, the rule of law, a better future of freedom for their country. And at that moment, like today, the soul and identity of Europe was not to be found in the hallways of Brussels, but it was to be found in Kyiv, in the courage and the heroism of these young Ukrainians. And this is still today what we're fighting about. You see the tumultuous geopolitical times that we're living in. President Macron is today in Washington, D.C. to engage and have a dialogue with President Trump about our common interest, about the need for a just and lasting peace in Ukraine, about the fact that a quick and easy ceasefire will not lead to peace. It would lead to Russia regrouping, rearming, and reattacking, as we know and as recent history unfortunately has proven in the last decade. And this is why we will continue our support for Ukraine. This is why we will step up our military and economic support. And this is why we will have to take our responsibilities when it comes to long-term security guarantees, not only for the stability and security of Ukraine, but also for the security of Europe. You know that in the last years, President Macron, France, have often spoken of strategic autonomy, the idea that Europeans must take their fate into their own hand, that when it comes to technology, when it comes to military issues, when it comes to the future of our competitiveness and innovation on the European continent, we need to invest much more in taking ownership of our fate and security. That when we look at the future of the transatlantic relationship, we have so many common values and interests with the United States, but we also have to hear when American leaders, Democrats like Republicans, tell us that Europe is no longer at the center of their interest, that Europeans need to step up and take more responsibility for their own security. And this is a turning point and a moment for Europeans to do this. And the first test, the first critical moment where we will be tested on this issue of European defense and strategic autonomy is, of course, Ukraine. Is, of course, ensuring a lasting peace and the security guarantees that Europeans will have to provide. This will need not only massive investment in our common defense, and President Costa earlier announced an extraordinary council on March 6th to find new sources of financing. This will be a generational effort to prop up our European defense industry. This will mean investing in AI, in quantum, not lagging behind the investment when the rest of the world is going fast and accelerating. We'll have also to step up. But this will mean first and foremost being here for Ukraine when the rest of the world will be watching, because we know that this is no local conflict, this is no regional war. When you have Iranian drones and missiles that are being used against civilians, soldiers, infrastructure here in Ukraine, where you have North Korean troops on the European continent. Think about the change of paradigm, that this is where democracy and the European security architecture is being tested. And this is the deeper change in software that Europeans will need. This will be a generational effort, as I said, but after hearing everything that I heard, after hearing the leaders that were in Paris last week, invited by the president. I'm optimistic that we will face and will be at this moment of history where we need to be, that we will be here with Ukrainians. You can count on our resolve, and I know that you can count on other Europeans. Slava Ukraini.